Live, ma'am.
We are live now. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, viewers. We are live via Facebook in compliance to Department Order Number 6 Series of 2024 for transparency of procurement processes. So we are here for a pre-bid conference for procurement of civil works under invitation to bid number 2025-002. So before we proceed, may I request the Secretariat to call a roll and acknowledge those who are present.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay.
I will now proceed with the roll call. When your name is called, please state if you are present. Our back chairperson, Madam Catherine M. Sangria. Back members, Engineer John Jeffrey D. Marcos, Engineer Carlo Antonio T. Guzman. Head Back Secretariat, headed by Engineer Maria Shelby S. Gupia. Present. Member, Ma'am Lucena M. Garma. DPWH member, Engineer Angelito L. Serpo Jr.
Present.
And Ma'am Josie B. Arellano. From Planning and Design Section, Representative, Engineer Rivian Kyle C. Nicanor. Engineer Edward Joseph T. Mistal. Engineer Jonalyn C. Lucero. We also acknowledge the presence of DPWH member, Engineer John Patrick Balazon. And our visitor from FED, Engineer Brgy D. Magtuba. Thank you, and that concludes the roll call, Madam Chair.
Okay. Acknowledge the presence of our head. Thank you, ma'am. Pangi. This is our pre-bid conference. So thank you, ma'am, Ara, for the roll call. For those who are present. Since the majority of the back members are present, I hereby declare a quorum and call this meeting to order. So we have here a present of agenda for our pre-bid conference. I read this agenda. So first in the agenda, we have the brief presentation, explanation of the back on the following. Under this, we have the basic contract data, including contract description, ABC and duration. Letter B, the requirements of the bidding documents. C is the documents to be submitted by the bidders. D, the criteria and procedure for eligibility check, preliminary examination of bids, detailed evaluation of bids, post-qualification, status of ongoing projects, and awards. And next is the sanction for the three-strike policy against violation of section 69-1-I of the IRR of RA 9184. Then number 3 is the question, comments from bidders, and replies of BAC, another representative of the procuring entity. And the last is the summary of proceedings, including supplemental bid bulletin to be issued. So, any other motion for the inclusion of the agenda? There's none. I hear the pleasure of the body.
I move for the adoption of the agenda of this pre-bid conference.
I second.
Since it has been moved by Engineer Guzman and seconded by Engineer Marcos, and with no objection, the motion to adopt this agenda is hereby approved. So first, we will tackle the brief presentation of the project to be procured. to be explained by our planning and design section, engineers. Let's watch the audiovisual presentation.
Okay, good morning everyone. Good morning. Okay, name of contract. Rehabilitation, completion of multi-purpose building, Pangi Elementary School, Maco, Davao de Oro. Contract ID number 25LA001, location Maco, Davao de Oro. Scope of works, construction of 11.5 meters by 8.5 meter stage. These include painting works on masonry and steel, storm drainage and downspout, catch basin, provision of basketball goal. Approved budget for the contract, 2,970,000. Source of fund, FY 2025 NEP-CSSP-BIP. Contract duration, 90 calendar days. Size range, small b. License category, C and D. And cost of bid documents, 5,000. So this is the Annex C for the multi-purpose building of Pangi Elementary School. The approved budget for the contract, so this is the location map, vicinity map, and the site development plan. Okay, so this is the perspective, ground floor plan, and the elevation, front elevation, rear elevation, left side elevation, the right side elevation. So the geotag photos.
Hello, good morning everyone. Now for the highway design unit, name of contract, Araibo, Las Arenas Road in support of the banana, Tablea and other agri-business products, Pantukan, Davao de Oro. With contract ID number 25LA0005, location, Pantukan, Davao de Oro. Scope of works, concreting having a width of 6.7 meters, 280 mm thick. Station limits, station 00 to station 215 with a total length of 215 meters. Roadway excavation, surplus common excavation, and application of reflectorized thermoplastic pavement markings. Approved budget for the contract, 4,900,000 pesos. Source of fund, FY 2025 NEP, CSSP DPI. Contract duration, 42 calendar days. Size range, small b. License category, C and D. Cost of bid documents, 5,000 pesos. Now for the location map. And typical details for and the geotag photos. Now for contract number 2, for the roads. Name of contract, Mag-agbay, Longganapan, Napantigan Road in support, banana, coconut, and other agribusiness products, Laak, San Vicente, Davao de Oro. Contract ID number 25LA0006, location, Laak, Davao de Oro. Scope of works, concreting having a width of 6.1 meters and 230 thick. Station 00 to Station 177, having a total length of 177 meters. Roadway excavation, surplus common excavation, and surplus rock excavation are ground. And intermittent concrete paved shoulder, construction of concrete canal lining and other minor drainage structures, and application of reflectorized thermoplastic pavement markings. For ABC, approved budget for the contract, 4,900,000 pesos. Source of fund, FY 2025 NEP CSSP DBI. Contract duration, 42 calendar days. Size range, small b. License category, C and D. And cost of bid documents, 5,000 pesos. Here's the location map. For the typical details, and the geotag photos. And for contract fee for the highway design unit, name of contract, Santo Niño Road leading to Santo Niño Caves, Barangay Santo Niño, Laak, Davao de Oro. Contract ID number 25LA0007, location Laak, Davao de Oro. Scope of works, concreting having a width of 6.1 meters, 230 thick. Station 00 to Station 405, having a total length of 405 meters. Roadway excavation, surplus common excavation with intermittent concrete paved shoulder, construction of concrete canal lining and other minor drainage structures, and application of reflectorized thermoplastic pavement markings. Approved budget for the contract is 9,800,000 pesos. Source of fund, FY 2025 NEP CSSP DOT. Contract duration is 73 calendar days. Size range, small b. License category, C and D. Cost of bid documents is 10,000 pesos. And for the location map, typical details. Geotag photos. Name of contract, Libudon Road leading to Laki Pool Inland Resort, Barangay Libudon, Mabini, Davao de Oro. Contract ID number 25LA0008, location, Mabini, Davao de Oro. Scope of works, concreting having a width of 6.1 meters, 230 thick. Station 3,740 to station 4,080, having a total length of 340 meters. For roadway excavation, surplus common excavation, and soft rock excavation. Intermittent concrete paved shoulder, construction of concrete canal lining, application of reflectorized thermoplastic pavement markings. Approved budget for the contract is 9,800,000 pesos. Source of fund, FY 2025 net CSSP DOT. Contract duration is 72 calendar days. Size range, small b. License category, C and D. Cost of bid documents is 10,000 pesos. Here's the location map. And for the typical details, and for the geotag photos,
Once again, good morning, everyone. So this is for the project of flood control. Name of contract: construction of revetment along Hijo River, Barangay Limbo, Maco, Davao de Oro. Contract ID number 25LA0011. Location: Maco, Davao de Oro. Scope of works: construction of reinforced concrete revetment, construction of grouted riprap for backflow protection, installation of mattresses with filter cloth for scar protection. Approved budget for the contract: 57,900,000 pesos. Source of fund: FY 2025 NEP regular infra. Contract duration: 211 calendar days. Size range: medium A. License category: B. Cost of bid documents: 50,000 pesos. So this is the location map, the vicinity map, the typical detail. Annex A of POW, and this is the geotagged photos.
So that's the projects, the 6 projects to be procured and was being explained by our planning engineers. So thank you, engineers, for your brief presentation of the projects. So we will go to the next required agenda, E, which is the requirements of bidding documents. And the letter C is the documents to be submitted by the bidders. The third B is the criteria and procedure for eligibility check. And the number 2 is the sanctions for contractors. The 3-strike policy against violation of section 69-1-I of the IRR Barangay 9184 to be viewed through our audiovisual presentation. Finally,
Requirements of bidding documents. All documents required, including the instructions to bidders, the general conditions of contract, special condition of contract, specifications, drawings, bill of quantities, and forms, such as bid securities, are all uploaded to PhilJep's website and our website at the DPWH. A complete set of bidding documents may be acquired by interested bidders from the procurement unit at the DPWH Davao de Oro, 1st DEO Napantigan Davao de Oro, and upon payment of the applicable fee for the bidding documents. It may also be downloaded free of charge from the website of the Philippine Government Electronic Procurement System, PhilJeps, and the website of the procuring entity, provided that bidders shall pay the applicable fee for the bidding documents not later than the submission of their bids. Documents to be submitted by the bidder. The following documents should be included by the interested bidders in their bids. For the technical component of the bid: A. Eligibility documents such as PhilJep's certificate. B. PCAD license and registration. C. Statement of all ongoing government and private contracts, SLCC only. NFCC computation and statement of total assets and total liabilities. D. Joint venture agreement, if applicable. E. Technical documents such as bid security. Project requirements such as the organizational chart for the contract. List of contractors' personnel. List of major equipment and omnibus statement, which is 10 items. For financial component of the bid: A. Bid form. B. Bid prices and the bill of quantities. C. Detailed estimates including a summary sheet indicating unit prices of construction materials, labor rates, and equipment rentals. D. Cash flow by quarter. These documents should be submitted using to envelope system. Bidders are urged to only fasten the documents at the topmost portion instead of binding them. Each document should be ear tagged appropriately. There shall be 3 copies of documents: the original copy, copy 1, and copy 2. The original copies of technical component of the bid shall be sealed in one envelope, and the original copies of financial component of the bid shall be sealed in another envelope. These envelopes should be labeled as original copy of technical component and original copy of financial component respectively. These labeled envelopes shall be sealed into one envelope and label it as the original copy of the bid. The same procedure applies to copy 1 and copy 2. Lastly, the original copy, copy 1 and copy 2 of the bid shall be sealed into one final envelope to be submitted here in conference room, 2nd floor, DPWH, 1st District Engineering Office, Davao de Oro. Bids can also be submitted electronically through electronic_Compostela Valley at dpwh.gov.ph.
Please be reminded, key personnel. There should be no overlapping or no dual functions, especially in project manager, project engineer, materials engineer, and foreman. Tax identification number, TIN, should be indicated in your bid documents. It will be needed during the award of contract. Financial documents should be written legibly. Discrepancies of bid prices between figures and in words will prevail. For discount offers, methodology shall be indicated. Otherwise, the original bid amount will prevail. Bids not addressing or providing all the required items in the bidding documents, especially in the bill of quantities, the bid will be considered as non-responsive. Always check your documents before submitting to avoid disqualification. All bidders should update their PhilJEPS contractor's profile application as mandated and in accordance to Section 8.5.2 of 2016 IRR of RA 9184 and the GPPB Resolution Number 15/2021. In addition to our bidding documents, bidders are required to include in their technical documents the affidavit of site inspection with proof of evidence of actual visit of the area. This is to avoid problems during the implementation of the project, as per BAC Resolution Number 071 Series of 2023.
Criteria and procedure for eligibility check. Criteria and procedure for eligibility check that are set forth in Section 23 of the revised implementing rules and regulations of RA 9184. All prospective bidders should have updated their class of documents. These documents were already discussed by the Secretariat. During the opening of bids, the bank will check the eligibility result of contractor's profile application from Procurement Service of Central Office and simultaneously conduct the eligibility check and preliminary examination of the technical components of the bids. Bidders who are found eligible and at the same time pass the preliminary examination of their technical proposal and financial proposal, the committee will read the bid amount stated in the bid form.
3-strike policy, introduction and policy objective. In order to establish a fair and transparent system for managing offenses committed by bidders in the procurement of infrastructure, goods, and consulting services projects through public bidding, the Department of Public Works and Highways, DPWH, hereby introduces an updated 3-strike policy. This policy is aimed at enforcing adherence to the procurement guidelines stipulated under Section 69.1.I of the 2016 Revised Implementing Rules and Regulations, R of Republic Act, RAE 9184. Under this policy, if a bidder commits 3 offenses or acts described as all other acts that tend to defeat the purpose of competitive bidding, they shall be subjected to an administrative penalty. These offenses, acts are further classified into 3 major categories, as enumerated below.
Classification of offenses that triggers the 3-strike policy and exceptions. 1. Withdrawal from the bidding process, submission of a non-participation letter, or failure to submit a bid after purchasing the bid documents. However, the Bids and Awards Committee, BAC, recognizes certain valid reasons for these actions. A. If upon computation prior to bid submission, The bidder determines that their proposed bid price will exceed the approved budget for the contract, ABC. To substantiate this, the bidder must provide evidence. Acceptable proof includes, but is not limited to, a detailed budget estimation or a market price report. B, if the bidder, after reviewing the bidding documents and evaluating the available market options, determines that the required goods or supplies either are not available, or that the available alternatives do not meet the specified technical specifications. Additionally, if providing the specified goods or supplies would require the bidder to incur costs exceeding the competitive and financially viable range, or if adherence to the specifications would lead to a bid price that is not economically favorable, the bidder may withdraw. To validate this reason, the bidder should present an affidavit demonstrating that participating in the bid under these conditions would be financially unsustainable. 2. Submission of late bids without valid reasons as determined by the BAC. Exceptions will be considered under extraordinary circumstances such as force majeure. This refers to unexpected and unavoidable external events that impede or prevent a bidder from timely bid submission, as defined in Article 1174 of the Philippine Civil Code. 3. Submission of patently insufficient bid. A patently insufficient bid here refers to a bid that fails to include or comply with certain mandatory requirements. The determination of whether a bidder committed such an offense may occur as outlined below. A. During eligibility screening and/or shortlisting. I. Submission of an expired certificate of Philippine Government Electronic Procurement System, PhilGPS, registration, platinum membership, or a certificate of PhilGPS certification containing expired Class A legal and financial documents as determined during the eligibility screening. Failure to include certificate of employment, contract agreement among permanent personnel and staff of the firm, and curriculum vitae in the application for eligibility and shortlisting, AES, which are evaluated during the shortlisting for consulting services projects. B. During bid evaluation, failure to submit required bid forms, as outlined in Annex C detailing the complete list of required bid forms. 2. Submission of incomplete, insufficient, or defective documents due to the non-inclusion and/or omission of mandatory provisions and statements for the required bid forms, as per Annex C outlining the mandatory provisions of required forms. 3. Submission of an unnotarized bid securing declaration, an omnibus sworn statement, and joint venture agreement or statements from all the potential joint venture partners, with the exception during the declaration of state of calamity, or implementation of community quarantine or similar restrictions declared or being implemented either in the locality of the procuring entity, PE, or of the bidder. 4. Submission of the bid form, price schedules, bid securing declaration, omnibus sworn statement, and joint venture agreement, JVA, without the name, legal capacity, and signature of the bidder or its authorized representative. 5. Nomination of key personnel of a profession different from what is required by the bidding documents, or, in the case of consulting services, proposing a key personnel whose educational background is different from that required by the TOR. 6. Failure to submit proof of ownership, lease, or purchase agreement of pledged equipment. 7. Failure to submit the required certification of key personnel as per Department Order Number 9, Series of 2012, or, in the case of consulting services projects, failure to submit certifications as required by the terms of reference, TOR. 8. Failure to comply with the required minimum number of key personnel and equipment as stated in the bidding documents.
C. During post-qualification. 1. Participation in bidding for consulting services or good and services contracts by a bidder whose business type category, as indicated on the mayor's permit, does not match or are unrelated to the contract being bid for, as determined during the post-qualification process. 2. Participation for infrastructure projects by a bidder whose allowable range of contract costs, RCC, as indicated on the CAB license, does not match with the specific requirements of the infrastructure project being bid for in terms of category, classifications, and size ranging. Enforcement and penalties. If a bidder commits any of the three major offenses or acts listed above 3 times within a year starting from the approval date of the resolution recommending the imposition of strike 1, first warning, which is counted as day 1 through day 365, and if these 3 offenses are similar or identical nature, it will trigger the enforcement of the stipulated administrative penalty, suspension from participating in all DPWH procurement activities, and entering into contract with any DPWH procuring entity. Subsequently, as per the procedure outlined in Annex O, this may result in the blacklisting of the suspended bidder, thereby disqualifying the bidder from participating in any government procurement activities for a period of 1 year. In conjunction with blacklisting, the bidder will also face bid security forfeiture and must comply with the enforcement of the bid securing declarations condition. In more severe instances, when a bidder commits another set of 3 similar offenses, or more than 2 sets of 3 similar offenses instances, where more than 6 similar offenses occur within the said 1 year time frame, the bidder may be subjected to an increased penalty, resulting in blacklisting for a period of 2 years. The effectuation for the penalty of either 1 or 2 years, as applicable, will be clearly stipulated in the blacklisting order, with the provision that the duration of blacklisting shall not exceed a maximum period of 2 years, commencing on the date the blacklisting order is approved and issued by the Secretary. In enforcing these penalties, it emphasizes the need for a clear and fair procedure. When an offense leading to a strike is identified, the erring bidder will be promptly notified by the Bids and Awards Committee, back, and given a chance to explain their actions before any final decision is made. This procedure helps ensure a well-informed and fair judgment. Furthermore, if it is suspended due to 3 strikes, they have the right to file a request for reconsideration as per the procedure in Annex O. This gives the suspended bidder a formal way to challenge the suspension, showcasing the department's commitment to due process in enforcing the 3-strike policy. 4. Due process and implementation. To ensure that due process is upheld across all stages of procurement, from eligibility screening and shortlisting to bid evaluation and post-qualification, it is essential for the BAC and its technical working group, TWG, to meticulously verify the monthly consolidated strike before it's updated. Version at each stage of the procurement process. All BACs are tasked with actively monitoring these updates to accurately track the infractions committed by bidders. Notably, even if a bidder has accumulated 3 strikes, this alone shall not be grounds for ineligibility, disqualification, or post-qualification until the suspension order is approved by the Secretary and officially posted on DPWH website. Moreover, if a suspended bidder has filed a request for reconsideration, the awarding of the contract may be deferred until such request is resolved. This approach ensures the integrity and coherence of our procurement system, reflecting our dedication to a transparent and fair process for all participants. Failure of the concerned DPWH personnel to implement the provisions of this order shall, after due process, make them liable to the penalties prescribed for violation of reasonable office rules and regulation in Rule 10. Administrative offenses and penalties of the 2017 Rules on Administrative in the Civil Service dated the 3rd of July 2017. This order shall take effect immediately and shall supersede Department Order Number 17, Series of 2015, Department Order Number 35, Series of 2008, and all other issuances that are inconsistent with this order.
Additional information. Only accredited contractors and consultants project engineer shall assign to handle the project in compliance to Department Order DEO 118, Series of 2024. Guidelines on the accreditation and assignment of contractors and consultants project engineers.
That's all for the presentation. Thank you, IT personnel, for the audio presentation, so audio visual. Is there any question, comments from the leaders? On the agenda 1 and 2 and its subsections. None? So if there is none, we will proceed to number 3 of our agenda, which is the question, comments from the leaders and replies of the Laak and other representative of the procurement entity. There's none, Karen. So we will go to the last agenda. We have the summary and proceedings, including supplemental bid bulletin to be submitted, to be presented by our procurement head, engineers. Yeah.
Thank you, Madam Chair. All agenda for pre-bid conference are well explained and discussed by the Secretariat and the planning engineers. Prospective bidders are advised to visit anytime the field jobs and DPWH websites for any issued supplemental bid bulletin. Also, dropping of bids will be on November 7, 2024 at 10 a.m. and will be open after all the bids have been received and recorded. Also, may I remind everyone that these projects presented earlier are undertaken through early procurement activities. The award of the contracts for these projects may be made only upon the approval and effectivity of the GAA as specified in the 2016 revised implementing rules and regulations of the Republic Act RA 9184 Appendix 31, which is the guidelines on the implementation of early procurement activities. That's all, Madam Chair.
So all the business in the agenda will already be taken into consideration. May I know the pleasure of the body?
I move for the adjournment of the meeting.
I second the motion.
So it has been moved by Engineer Guzman and seconded by Engineer Marcos. This pre-bid conference, and with no objection. So the motion for this pre-bid conference is hereby approved, and this conference is now adjourned.